Welcome back to coverage of the BSR MX5 Cup Autumn Series here on Apex Racing TV and iRacing Live. I'm Paul Smith, alongside me is Chaz Draker, and Smoola Kuma obviously doesn't trust us to do the cameras and the graphics, so he's taken over controls of that as well for us. As you can see, the temperature is on screen, but we'll quickly take you through as much of your grid as we possibly can. It's Craig Jones on pole, Carl Jackalette in second place with Jeroen Ursum third, John McDonald fourth, Carl Hardy fifth with Scott Malcolm sixth, and he goes and moves it. Adam McDelmont seventh, David Ayres eighth, Rick McCarron 9th, Nathan Davis 10th, and here we go for the start then. Away we go for another 15, oh, it's 25 minutes apparently, around Bathurst. Oh, it's 7 laps, of course, because they know how many laps. It's turn number 1 then, and it is Craig Jones who's away well from the lead. Rest of the field going through. There's plenty of movement further down as they're all fanning out there, 3-4 wide. Further back in your field, Ryan Walker's dropped down 6 positions from the start already, and Will Smith down 5 positions as well. So come over the rise here for the first time on this race. Down towards Quarry Corner. It's still Jones in the lead of this one, ahead of Carl Jackalette, but here comes a run from Jeroen Ursum in towards the cutting. It's going to take the wide line as Jeroen. And onto the brakes, nicely done, and contact from Carl. Oh, there's a big pile-up now. Are they all going to get through here? It's all going to check up, and will they all manage it safely? Here comes, it's going to be a big pile-up. Are we going to get a safety car, or is it going to carry on? We've lost one of the drivers. Do you know what Ursum decided the smartest thing to do is get out of there? Craig Jones and Nathan Davis are battling away in this one as well. That's a battle for second and third place there, but Chaz, we thought it might happen in the first race, but it's definitely happened in this second race.
Yeah, it turned out not to be that bad really though. I mean, it obviously checked up quite a lot. A couple of guys got caught up in there, but because they were on the outside of the track, I think we got away with that one a bit better than we might have done if there was a few more people piling in a bit too quickly. Josh Thompson though getting caught up in that though, so I'm sure he'll want to get back on it then, as we see the top 5 now side by side for second and third between Davis and Delmont. They're going to be flying down the straight here, but Craig Jones is running away with it at the moment. He's probably broken the slipstream a little bit, but someone that hasn't done that is Delmont now, as Davis closes up on the back of him.
Yeah, Davis with an awful run through Forest Elbow. Down the corner road straight it goes. He's got Adam Delmont in front. It's coming out to the right here. Delmont just squeezing him a little. There's Rob Graham right with them now as well. As they go into the chase. Contact between the two of them. And amazingly, Rob Graham misses them both and says, thank you very much. I'll take second place there. There's more contact going on at the chase, but they're getting back up and running. But Rob Graham, luckiest man on the track right there. We've got a car coming on pit road. They're obviously... something's happened to them, but we've got 3 wide, Chaz, going down towards Hell Corner once again.
Yeah, it's all kicking off a bit now then. People obviously backing up. Dan Hunt in the background there down the inside of one of the Result Clothing cars. There's 2 of them side by side, 3 turn. One is either side of them. One of the Youth Energy boys and one of the Swift Cooper cars go side by side. It's just a gaggle of multicoloured MX5s at the moment as they fly up the hill. You can see Craig Jones running away with it. Rob Graham there in second, with Craig Jones' teammate Carl Hardy making it 2 Result Clothing cars on the podium. Over the crest of the hill then, we're looking at, well, this is Ayres is in there. You've got Ashton, McIntyre. It's just, well, are they going to make it through? We'll have to see. Ashton round the outside of Ayres then. Sorry, it's McIntyre, I apologise.
Oh, I heard contact further down. I believe Czepelewski might be involved in that one. Well, there's 3 cars involved in that one. There. And Czepelewski was one of those cars involved in that one. So big drama at Quarry Corner. And Czepelewski trying to get back up to speed, but he's all the way down to 29th now in this one. Dropped right back to the back of the runners. This is an accident in front. That's the 124. That's Tyler Lugo Vickery.
Yeah, it's all getting a little bit messy now. The faster guys are making their way back through.
Brian Holmes is out as well. There's all sorts of shenanigans going on over the top of the mountain. As we've got more contact, Steve Hefford, who's around. It's all happening on race lap 2 here. Oh, Heffern's got a right crab on there for him, but he's back up and running. Your leader, by the way, is out front by 2 seconds and pulling that gap over Rob Graham. So those guys at the front must be absolutely laughing as they're heading down. But Nick McCarron, look at the train of cars. If look, we'll try and keep sort of positives of this. Scott Malcolm is right with Nick McCarron then as they're going down the chase. In fact, they're side by side here, up over the rise under the Fuso banner. Here's the number 6 though, Luke Cooper in that Swift Cooper Esports car. Down the inside of Scott, Safety Scott as he's known in the World GT Championship. Oh, just gives him a little bit of an elbow. Thank you very much. Hit, you know, a bit of a shoulder badge there, and he stays in front there. But Cooper now is under pressure here, and I believe that's Jack Aston who's getting involved and getting in front of Cooper.
Yeah, he's just really got the move done there. Just a little bit of a nudge to the side, and he just says, "Go on, I'm going past you. Cheers, mate." Scott Malcolm, though, still at the head of this. He's controlling the pace. He's just got to see how long he can keep him behind. But when you've got a Jack Ashton coming at you like that, I don't think it's going to last very long then. As he goes along down to Scott's left as they go up the hill. McIntyre, you can see he's getting away from this battle now. But you've got the 2 Coopers in there then. You've got Luke Cooper and Jason Cooper in that order. And then just behind them is David Ayres and Jamie Ayres. So, well, spelled differently, of course, but it's a surname sort of war going on at the moment. But side by side then, Malcolm down the inside, Ashton dispatches him around the outside. It's going to be Luke Cooper now trying to move, but Jason's on the inside, which is now going to become the outside, so they cut in.
Yeah, it's really close action, and look at Luke going around the outside into the cutting. Great stuff there. Jason, sorry, it was around the outside. Luke got caught behind Scott Malcolm there. He couldn't do anything about him, and that's bringing Jamie Ayres and David Ayres along for the ride there. By the way, we've only got 24 cars running at the moment in this race. So we had 35 car grid to start with after lap 2. It's all gone a bit wrong really in this one. But your leader is still, it's actually Rob Graham in the lead. Something's happened to Craig Jones, and he's ended up dropping down to 2nd place. It might have been on that last lap because his last lap was a 2:34.4. But we'll have a look at the move then. It was down the Conrod Straight where the position was gained. And Rob Graham, look at that late move down to the inside. Nicely done here. And he should dispatch him there through that right-hander into the chase. Well, change of position at your front. I was about to say it was Craig Jones in the lead, but he's in 2nd place now. Carl Hardy in 3rd with Nick McCarron not that far off of them as well, as we've got side-by-side action as well. Jason Cooper and Jack Aston now.
Yeah, you've got to look at Jack McIntyre as well. Gained 20 places so far, up to 5th place overall. He's won the one of these sort of mini-series that they do before. I always praise him for watching how well he drove at Charlotte Road Circuit a while ago, as his teammate now Ayres involved with, that's Luke Cooper there, and Scott Malcolm either side of him. Not sure whether he's going to make contact with Scott. They're really close together there. That might have been a quarter panel, and they did really well to survive that, to be fair. As just in front, I believe we saw Carl Hardy and Jason Cooper, or one of them, switching places, but he's around the outside into the final corner then. Scott giving him plenty of room, staying on the inside. Now it's going to be the last of the late breakers into Hell Corner as they cross the line.
It's all about carrying your speed through Hell Corner, and with Jamie taking that wide line, he could carry the speed out there, and look, that's exactly what's happened. And here comes Cooper now on Scott Malcolm. He's going backwards here. Is Malcolm, by the way, Nick McCarron up to the podium positions now, up to 3rd place in this one. We'll keep an eye on this Cooper and Ayres battle though, because he's in that slipstream up over the rise there, down towards Quarry Corner, onto the brakes. Not able to make the... I keep on calling it Quarry Corner. Is that Quarry or is it Griffin's? I can never remember. It is Griffin's. I've been calling it the wrong name all evening. It's Griffin's Bend is that one. In towards the cutting once again. That's an easy one to remember. But yeah, your top 3 pretty close together, and there you've got Jack McIntyre and Kyle Hardy getting close as well. So Charles, we've got a right battle on here now for your race lead involving 4 cars.
Yeah, it's going to be good to watch McIntyre and McCarron take the fight to these 2 AM drivers at the front of Rob Graham and Craig Jones. Personally, for me, it's nice to see a number 22 car leading the way, as that's usually my number. As Jones runs wide, it comes back across the front of McCarran, though, really aggressively shutting the door on in there. McCarran does well to back out of it, and you almost sort of didn't notice how well McIntyre broke to avoid that as they carry on chasing down the hill then. As we get onto the Conrad Straight now, it's just going to be, well, it's just going to be a slipstream war all the way down here. Now, Jack's got a really good run off there, actually, onto the back of McCarran. But McCarran's going to be helped out by the slipstream in front, so this might work out brilliantly for McIntyre. He's going to be communicating with McCarran now, saying, just sort me out, just help us along and we'll see what we can do. Who's going to pull out first then? McCarran goes to the right, McIntyre chooses to stay behind Jones.
McCarran let him through there.
Yep, definitely.
He gave him a little flash of the brakes. Into the chase, down the inside goes McIntyre. He's not going to quite get the job done at the moment, but they're going to stay side by side here, and he'll try and hold that position down into Murray's once again. We're on lap number 4, about to start lap number 5. We've got side by side behind as well. McCarran's going to try and follow through there. Great awareness from Nick McCarran to go down the inside of Craig Jones in that final corner. We've got 3 battling behind as well. We've got a Youth Energy car involved in that. That's Jack Ashton. We've got Jason Cooper. We've got Kyle Hardy. Kyle Hardy's just dropping back off of them. And now, Chaz, they're gaining on the back of Craig Jones.
Yeah, this battle could be just about to expand and get even more exciting towards the end of this one. 3 more laps to go then, including this, as they climb up the hill once again, using the slipstream to their advantage. You've got Jason Cooper then right on the back of Craig Jones, though he pulls out to the right. He's going to go down the inside. And there he goes, nicely done, but he's just trying to hold it around the outside there. He comes back and loses the place to Ashton. He might also lose the place to his teammate, unless he obviously just says, I'll just slot him behind. You just run your race, I'll run mine.
Yep, certainly great battle with these two, between these guys. Looking up front though, Rob Graham coming under some serious pressure here from Jack McIntyre now. Looking back from the back of his car. You can see how close McIntyre is. You don't need to see the timings. He's right there. Getting closer and closer is that Momo car. He's going to maybe look to the inside. That's not really the opportunity you want to take here. Backs out of it. McCarran's behind as well. So the 2 Momo cars working together towards Skyline, down the hill. Now, the thing is, look at Rob Graham's car. He has got a little bit of damage on that car. So that will be affecting his top speed here in this one. That's going to really affect him down the Conrad Straight here, but the rest of the gang now are on the back of this queue, so we've got a 5-car train for first place here, Chaz.
Yeah, this is going to get really, really interesting now for these last few laps. It's going to be a case of when, not if, I think, with Jack McIntyre. We've seen he's been rapid in this car since day one, and obviously he's got his teammate again. We actually have Momo cars, so we look back at a replay then. This is Jordan Giddings going down the hill, and is he going to brush the wall? He's just, he's running out wide, and that's a heavy hit there for Giddings, really puts it in. He does a good job of keeping it out of the way, straight to the pits, obviously the safest option, and McIntyre has the lead. McCarran's still slotting in into 3rd place then behind Graham, but Jack McIntyre is now your new race leader.
Yep, certainly is. And Graham, as we'll have a look at the replay of the move, then it's a typical Conrad Straight move, then use the slipstream and be able to get that move done. And he did that before he even got to the corner, so good move from McIntyre to move up into the lead, then good carry of speed. As we go back to live pictures now though, and it is into Hell Corner once again, and McCarran's lost the position to the 35 of Jason Cooper in that Swift Cooper Esports car, but up the mountain straight now, McCarran's going to try and make the comeback here, and you can make the outside line work around Griffin's Bend, but it is a tricky one because it's a really dirty offline there.
Yeah, it's you just got to take the chance, I suppose, around there. You got to try and make it work at least, and if it doesn't, you just got to try the damage limitation route and just not make too much of a mess of it. As these 5 are really still quite close together. McIntyre's obviously going to eke out a bit of a gap, but Jason Cooper's going to have a hard time getting past Rob Gray because he's known for his defending, is Rob. He's a very steady driver, so it's going to be interesting to see what Jason can make of it as he's getting really close now. Rob running up the curb there. It just shows the talent of a driver, to be fair, to be able to follow that closely behind. We saw it from Jack McIntyre the lap before. You could see how close he was, but he was just maintaining the gap so smoothly. It was great.
Yeah, defender of the lost corner is Rob Graham, but he'll certainly not giving up without a fight. Talking about recovery drives, Selin Chepelevsky, just to mention him, he's up 15 places, up into 14th place. You remember, he got involved in that instant Griffin's Bend, and he fell all the way down to the back of the field. So he's back up and running, and up to 14th now. And this one is going to be battling with Benjamin Mears for 13th place, but we'll keep an eye on this battle for second place and for third and fourth as well. But look at that run through Forest Elbow. It just seems that Rob Graham isn't able to carry as much speed as his competitors. Jason Cooper gets himself past the AM driver, and just that maybe just shows that little difference between the two of them in these races. Through the right-hand kink, flat out they are, onto the brakes for the chase, and diving out, that's Nick McCarron. Decides against it though, and that's going to allow Jack Ashton now to make a move on McCarron.
Yeah, that was really opportunistic by Jack Ashton. He did a great job of sticking it around the outside as well. He's got the inside now for the final corner. Pulls that same move we saw earlier, gradually comes across a little bit in the braking zone just to sort of assert a bit of dominance, if you will, and he's made it stick. Just a quick shout to, well, I was just about to say, hopefully I've not cursed him, but Ben Mears has gained 18 places at the moment in the AM battle, but he looks like he's dropping down behind these boys now, as Josh Thompson having a bit of a flicker there. It's actually, Rob Graham is the highest placed AM driver at the moment. Craig Jones and Carl Hardy for Result Clothing are 6th and 7th overall, so they're his nearest competitors. So if you Rob Graham now on this final lap, you might be thinking that with these faster boys around you, you might just want to play it safe and just sort of hope to improve your own AM championship by not getting too involved. As they're 3 wide, then that's really squeezing there. Jack Ashton taking the risks across the front of Nick McCarron. Graham clips the curb a little bit, nearly runs wide, but Ashton around the outside, great manoeuvre, really really gutsy stuff, wasn't it?
McCarron did the sensible thing there, and he got out of it and gets onto the brakes for the left-hander at the cutting, up over the mountain now. We're still climbing uphill. These MX5 struggling, just don't quite have enough power to really give you the speed that you want as a race driver, but it's still excellent driving from them. Now they're up at the top of the mountain, and they're coming through the left-hander, through McPhillamy Park once again here.
Scott Malcolm's going down the order, he's showing us out of the race. Steve Hefford's also going down the order. He had obviously some contact earlier, I'm not quite sure what's happened there, but shame to see Steve going down. I was speaking to him earlier today actually, and a bit yesterday, about his championship hopes. He's actually leading this series overall in the standings as well. There's obviously 4 mini seasons that they do, but the end goal is to win the overall championship, and when you factor in penalties, he's winning it. So he won't be too happy about that, as McCarron runs a little bit wide there. He's going to wash out towards the wall. Rob Graham's going to be right at the back of him here, and you may think that Rob Graham can actually put one over on the pro driver.
Oh, get in his slipstream, Rob. Get in his slipstream. That's it. That's what we want to do. Jack McIntyre, by the way, 3 seconds ahead of Jason Cooper at the moment. Here comes Graham though, out the slipstream, down the Conrad Straight. This is the final lap of the race, heading into the chase. And we're going to battle actually. It is your lead, and it's Jason Cooper making it ahead of Jack McIntyre. But McIntyre with a great comeback there. Cut back from him, gets the move on the exit the corner. Will he make it? Graham has made it past McCarron at the back there, but at the front here then, Jack McIntyre for Momo through the final corner at Murray's, across the line to take win in race number 2 of the evening. 4 races here for you today, with Jason Cooper second, Jack Ashton finishing up in 3rd place, a good 4th place from Rob Graham in the end there. We've still got battling going on. Chepelevsky is involved in this one. Josh Thompson diving it to the inside. Can he make that move stick? No, he can't. And Chepelevsky round the outside will end this one in 11th place, considering that he was all the way down to last at one point in this one. Great drive from Cheppy there in the end. Looking further down, Steve Hefford, he is still running. Is Steve. Oh, and he's come up to a damaged car and pushes him round. Adam Delmont, he's already in a damaged car and gets pushed around by Steve. That's not very nice, is it? Front of his car's gone.
Oh, he's giving it back.
Yeah, Steve's doing the right thing. He realises that he's maybe messed up a little bit there, so gives the place back. That's the only fair thing to do, really, in that situation. But yeah, you do always get some good sportsmanship in BSR series. You might not have seen it at times, but you do. Honest, I'm telling you, it does happen. Kip Stevens is still out there on track, I believe, although I believe he might have been a lap down. So Jack McIntyre then with the victory here.
Sliding that
today. Yeah, he's having a bit of fun now.
Look at that. That's car control. That's brilliant. Is he
maybe
not
perfect, it? Maybe not perfect all the way around, but certainly a good effort from McIntyre then to take that race number 2. We're just waiting for the final result to.
You've got to give credit where credit's due.
No, I'm only giving him a 5.6 because he just grazed the wall then, so it's not quite a 6.
That's some of the most entertaining driving I've seen on the service, though, it has to be said. Brilliant stuff there, Jack McIntyre. Obviously very gracious in victory. Brilliant stuff by Jason Cooper, though. Those guys gained, well, between them, gained 37 places up the field. That's just unbelievable stuff. Benjamin Mears also continued his hard charge and gained 18 places to finish 14. But that was a bit of a messier one, but we still saw some fantastic racing in that. It was, well, just non-stop, isn't it, round here?
Yeah, absolutely. 22 cars only finished that race then, so definitely not the best one indeed. I don't know if Sam can let us know if we got the results ready, so let's take you through those results and hopefully he doesn't move them before I finish reading them. Jack McIntyre in first place in that one, with Jason Cooper just two tenths of a second behind him in second place. Jack Ashton rounded out the podium there, but another win, excuse me, for Momo in that one. Rob Graham in 4th, getting ahead of Nick McCarron at the end there, who finished in 5th. Craig Jones and Kyle Hardy 6th and 7th, with Jamie Ayres 8th. Luke Cooper 9th, Nathan Davis 10th. Chepelewski, great recovery drive from him, finishes in 11th with Josh Thompson 12th. David Ayres, Benjamin Mears, Adam McNally and Charlie Summers all the way down to 16th, with Craig Williams and Joe McDonald 17th and 18th. Thank you, Samuli. Mickey Key 19th, with Adam Delmont 20th, 21st for Steve Hefford, who we saw give that position back at the end there. Kip Stevens, it says Kip Cooper there, but it's Kip Stevens finishing out your lead lap runners in 22nd. Scott Malcolm is classed as 1 lap down, so he will be eligible for a reverse grid draw here. And then all the cars that did not finish: Jordan Giddings, Jeroen Ursum, Dan Hunt, Mick Barry, Anwar Smith, Max Wright, Ryan Walker, Peter Knowles, Pete Van Gool, Tyler Lugo Vickery, Brian Holmes and Carl Jacquelet rounds up all of your results here. And Samuli will now be able to, hopefully more efficiently, bring us the reverse grid draw here.
Well, I don't know if more efficiently, but at least it is on the screen. So let's spin it and see what we get. And it will be full -2.
Oh, right, here's where my maths fails me. So Scott Malcolm would have been the full reverse grid, so -1 would be Kip Stevens. So -2 should, in theory, be Steve Hefford starting on pole position, with Adam Delmont in second place. They can renew their scrap there, Chaz.
Yeah, they certainly will. I'm sure they'll take any opportunity to do that. Well, it's come good for Steve Hefford in the end. I'm sure he'll be chuffed with that. Obviously not so much with the race 2 result, but we'll obviously have to follow his ventures of how he gets on in race 3.
Absolutely. So what we'll do then is we'll take a quick step aside then. You are watching the BSR MX5 Cup Autumn Series here on Apex Racing TV and iRacing Live, and we'll be right back after these few messages with race number 3. Don't go anywhere. Be about 5-10 minutes.
Okay.
the most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Hi there, I'm Richard Jobling, Senior Software Engineer here at iRacing. I'd like to show you some of the work that we've been doing to improve the collision and the damage in our sim. One of the major changes we've made is how our collision systems work. The old system stored the track as parametric surfaces, and the cars were made of collections of spheres. As the cars moved around the track, we would recompute planes using the track surfaces, and then test those against the spheres. This worked well for spheres, but was too specialized to adapt to our shapes. So for the new system, we've built new high-resolution meshes for each track. This is more efficient and gives us a lot more flexibility for the car shapes. The new mesh incorporates all the track features our guys work so hard to replicate. Things like curb geometry and changes in the surface material are all baked into the mesh. We've also taken our laser scan data and applied that to the mesh. And since the mesh is so high resolution, we capture all the detail that's necessary so that the tracks are just like the real thing. With our new mesh, we can now represent cars using smooth, convex hulls, which grouped together form the chassis, the bodywork, and all the other parts of the car. The new shapes are a much closer fit to the shape of the real car. During impacts, the shapes can deform according to the damage, and eventually they can break off as separate objects. All the parts, like wings, hoods, and wheels, can also hang from their joints, flapping and vibrating until they eventually snap off. All these changes are going to add a whole new level of realism to our races. If you want to find out more, please visit iracing.com and check out my blog post for lots more details.
Hi, my name is Greg Hill. I'm the Vice President of Art and Production here at iRacing. This damage project that we've been discussing is certainly a project that involved all hands on deck to pull off. We've got a rather sizable number of cars in our portfolio, and not all of these cars have been built with this dynamic damage system in mind. So what we had to do is one by one go through our race cars, and we had a team of 3 artists, a highly technical modeler, our technical art director, and our associate art director. All took on each car one at a time, and the work involved was researching that car, researching what would happen to that car if it were in a crash, depending on the forces involved in the crash, how severely it would be damaged, what parts might come off, what those pieces might look like when they're removed, what it would look like where the car has areas exposed that were previously covered by bodywork. So they had to do a lot of modeling to each race car, and they had to do a lot of work to essentially set up how the car would react to forces. So essentially setting the strength of the materials. What kind of force would it take to rip off this side pod, for example? Or under what circumstances would this nose cone get ripped off of a car? Or under which would it remain, but just be badly damaged? But all said, it's been a lot of work, but seeing the car models interact with the physics system and the new crash dynamics is really exciting and really cool to see, and definitely makes all that hard work worth it.
Hi, my name is Jose Diaz. I'm a visual effects artist at iRacing. I specialize in particle effects ranging from fireworks to water fountains, debris, crash, impacts, all in the service of improving the driving experience. So you have the main sort of new damage model that Richard's been working on. So that takes into consideration all the mounts and the chassis from the cars and which materials they are. And he's making all the calculations that tell you, like, okay, it got hit from this one side and the strength of that impact is this certain amount of values. If you hit something, that means that this mount gets off, something breaks. This gets added on top of that to sort of complement what is happening there with things that you would see in real life when a car crashes. So typically in a car crash, you will see all these little particles of dust, metal, scratches that will take all that force and momentum and kind of explode in a way. And it's all being driven by how fast the car.
Welcome back to race number 3 here at Mount Panorama in the BSR MX5 Cup Autumn Series on Apex Racing TV. Paul Smith, Chaz Draker and Samula Kumar on the cameras. Steve Hefford is on pole position with Adam Delmont 2nd, Mickey Key 3rd with Joe McDonald 4th, and then it's Williams, Summers, McNally, Mears, Ayres, Thompson, Chepoleski, Nathan Davis, then you've got Cooper, Ayres, Hardy, Jones, McCarran, Graham, Ashton, Cooper, McIntyre, Stevens, Malcolm, Giddings, Ursum, Hunt, Barry, Smith, Banwell Smith. I'm going to get through this. Wright, Walker, Peter Knowles, Peter Van Gool, Tyler Lugo Vickery, Brian Holmes, and Carl Jacolet rounds off your 35-car grid here, and we're all set for the third race of the evening. 4 races in total. The lights come on. Drivers waiting patiently. Green light is on. Away we go from the start there. Good start by Steve Hefford from your pole position. Is going to renew battles with Adam Delmont. Into turn number 1 they go then. Hell corner. How will they all get through here? They've all managed to get through really. Joe McDonald is dropping down the order. He's pulled over to the side there. You can see the background. He's almost letting everyone through there. So I don't know what's going on there. But anyway, up Mountain Straight towards Griffin's Bend for the first time in this third race, and you've got the front have just pulled away a little bit, and then you've got a huge gaggle of cars coming along behind towards Griffin's Bend. Well, this is where we saw the accidents start happening last time, Chaz.
Yeah, it's going to be well, hold your spleen, everyone, because this is going to get interesting. We've got McNally and Summers side by side. They've sorted it out. Summers runs out wide, probably the safer option there. Craig Williams is actually in the middle of that there, and what I can see is quite a nice Sparko livery on that MX5. Looks pretty smart. But these guys bunching up a little bit now because there's slower guys in front of quicker guys, and this is what you get with these reverse grid races, though, and it either adds chaos or closer racing to it. So we'll have to do over the course of this race anyway, see what it throws up here.
Yeah, absolutely. Through the top of the mountain they go. Mius just dropping behind Chepelewski. So Chepelewski already making money moves here in this one. Down through Skyline, through the S's, into the Dipper. The really big compression there as they hit the bottom of the Dipper. And through the carry-on. Yeah, there is some contact further back. Nobody's really dropping down the timing order, so timing screen there, so we should be okay for the time being. Through Forest Elbow for the first time in the 7-lap race, and the number 4 car getting a good run. That's Jamie Ayres for Momo alongside Luke Cooper down the Conrad Straight, and this is where you're going to be seeing a lot of the slipstreaming happening. You've got a little bit of action further up your field as well. Craig Williams and Mickey Kay, they are switching positions, and that's going to be Craig Williams up to 3rd place in this one, and Adam McNally is trying to follow through here. Can he do it into the chase? Up onto 2 wheels there was Williams. Spectacular, holds onto it. Chepelewski's getting boxed in there. He doesn't know where to go, but they're going through this. A little bit of contact onto the grass. Who's that? Mickey Key into the wall, was it? Or I don't know who it was actually.
Yeah, it was Mikey Key.
Yeah, Mikey Key, yeah.
I don't know what's happened to it though, because it just seemed to gradually turn right. It's like something broke. I don't know whether it was a hardware issue for him. But it was a very smooth impact against the wall. It was literally like a sort of a real life car failure where something just broke in a turn. So real shame there for Mikey Key running up with these big names. But now Thompson is up to 5th, McNally 6th, but there's Chepelewski. Sorry, that wasn't Chepelewski. That's Delmont chasing Hefford for the race lead now. Backs off a little bit as they come up to the right-hander. I still don't know the name off by now, even though Paul said it about 4 times. There we go. Still just hopping the curb as they go over, but they've got a right old lead over the rest of them now.
Yeah, 3.6 seconds over Charlie Summers, who's had a little bit of leading the pack here, because you've got Summers, you've got Williams, Josh Thompson, Adam McNally. There's a little bit of rubbing with the wall there from one of the drivers. Chepelewski, Nathan Davis, Jamie Ayres, Benjamin Mias, and Luke Cooper are all together here in a big queue of cars. A lot of Japanese motor vehicles going over the top of this mountain, and certainly these MX5s, they always produce great racing because they're not really affected by the aerodynamics in the corners, so they can run really close. We've got a car dropping down the order. Carl Hardy and Jack Ashton are dropping down the order in this one. Oh, that's a big up and over. There's other cars involved in that one as well. Oh, that's another one. There's not a lot he could have done with that one, could Jack? That's a huge crash there, Chaz.
Yeah, that was a massive hit, that car that went into him there. I'm not quite sure who it was that took him out. You can just see Jack, he just clips the wall, and he backs up quite a few of them there. He's rolling and rolling down the hill. Kip Stevens got involved there. You can see that well, obviously
Oh,
one of the
teammates!
they just
Two
piled into
teammates.
each other, didn't they?
Yeah. Oh, that's absolute nightmare. Oh,
As they come over a
absolute
crest
nightmare.
as well, though, it's always going to be difficult to avoid, isn't it? But that second hit there from when Jack was stationary, that was a massive, massive impact. That would have certainly be well, that driver would have been very grateful that this was only sim racing and not real world racing, because that would have ended pretty badly, I'm sure. As we see now, Cheppy, sorry, side by side with Davis, isn't it?
Yeah, I was just about to say, I hope he's not in VR, because he would have got very sick very quickly, the amount of rolls that he did there. So, Cheppy's out of control, and Davis is into the wall. He's back up and running after making contact with the wall there. But Chepelewski now coming under pressure from his teammate, Jamie Ayres, into turn one. One of the Swift Cooper esports cars getting a bit rough with Benjamin Mears. That was Luke Cooper who gave him a little bit of a hip check going into turn number one. We've only lost 6 cars so far in this one, so a little bit better than last race. Here comes Josh Thompson then, on Craig Williams, battling for that 4th place into Griffin's Bend, and Williams just gets out of it. He decides to not even bother battling with Josh in that one as they go up the mountain now. Josh is setting sights on Charlie Summers in front of him, Chaz.
Yeah, they're just sort of, well, over the season, these sort of drivers all sort of establish who they're racing against, how they sort of learn how the other drivers all drive. And I mean, Josh Thompson's someone that we all know how he drives. He's a very aggressive racer, very quick, and he's obviously just sort of, well, you've got to line up your battles one at a time, haven't you, when you're here, and especially at Mount Panorama, you've got to sort of, I don't know, I suppose you've got to double focus on things really, because you've got to be thinking about not just the guy that you're going up against to chase down. You've got the guy ahead of that as well, because obviously it can back up very quickly around here.
Absolutely, and you've also got a third thing you've got to concentrate on, and that's fighting against this track, because it is a challenge, let alone being able to fight against 35 other Mazda MX5s. But down the mountain they go now, the steep downhill breaking into Forest Elbow. Get your line right, carry the speed as much as you can. Thompson's not really got the best run through Forest Elbow there, and that allows Charlie Summers to pull away in that one. Your leaders have just spread out a little bit. Steve Hefford has just pulled away a little bit in the lead of this race ahead of Adam Delmont. And then you look at this battle here, and it's still Mears, and it's Luke Cooper, and it's Jack McIntyre. And I tell you what, McIntyre's deciding to go down the inside of both of them here. Will they go 3 wide through this little right-hander? Yes, they will. And all of them make it through there. But Benjamin Mears, your leading AM driver at the moment in this one, he's got a few positions over David Ayres, who's the 2nd placed AM driver here, Chaz.
Yeah, he's certainly up there as Mr. Ayres. I'm not quite sure how he's getting on in the standings. I did have them up earlier, actually. To have a quick look through it. He's 5th in the championship at the moment. There is actually a 644-point gap with the top 5 with Lorne Murray.
Ansmar Smith, I believe he's been around here in this one. It's down at the final corner at Murray's, and don't say there's going to be a little bit of a quarter panel in this one. Oh, he's coming across Scott there. There's not a lot that Scott could do in that one. I believe that was that Scott? No, it wasn't Scott. It was Rob Graham. Sorry. There's not a lot that Rob Graham could have done in that one. Anmar Smith just seems to just drive across the nose of him. So not the best driving there from Anwar, if I must be honest. But Rob Graham now battling with Ryan Walker, the Youth Energy driver, up Mountain Straight once again, and they'll be going into Griffin's Bend. Yes, I keep on mentioning it just because I actually remember the name of it now. Walker runs wide though, and that's going to allow Graham to stay ahead for the time being, as the 666 is battling with Dan Hunt. Dan Hunt trying to gain places here. He's up 9 places at the moment. They almost rubbed there through the cut-in, but Hunt is through. Craig Williams, oh, don't say he's been into wall. That car does not look like it's going straight well there, Chaz.
No, it's having a bit of a crab effect there. You can see the steering lock is obviously an even bigger representation of that. Trying to get it round. Oh, snaps away from there.
Adam McNally.
Oh,
he's
in.
As Williams has gone into the wall, but McNally's dropped down your order all of a sudden as well. And what's happened to McNally in this one?
A lot of damage on it by the look of it. Oh, he's just going to let it.
Oh dear.
Does he get hit by anyone though? Because there was a lot of damage. There was more damage than that on the front end.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
that was the Craig Williams one that happened behind.
Oh, there we go then.
Yeah, so Adam McNally's decided to take a tour back to the pits because it's almost impossible to drive that car. In fact, he nearly collected that Swift Cooper eSports car, but ends up taking it back to the pits. Back to live action!
Thomas into Thompson.
There's 3 cars off there. Adam Delmont, Josh Thompson, Charlie Summers. And that's going to allow Stelly Chepelewski up into 2nd place and Jamie Ayres up into 3rd. It's a Momo 1, 2, 3 all of a sudden, Chaz, as Chepelewski takes the lead ahead of Steve Hefford.
It's just fallen into place. Is that Hefford in the pit? Yeah, he's going into the pit lane now. I'm not quite sure whether he might have been involved in the incident that we just saw.
Damage.
Oh, it's a real shame for Steve Hefford there, starting from pole. Yeah, something's definitely gone wrong with it, hasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I hope we can maybe get a replay of what happened between them. Sorry, some early work. Oh, is there a crash on the pit straight there as well?
I think that was Van Gool, was it?
Yeah. So all sorts
well.
happening here in this one, and yeah, it's a case of, well, where do you look now? Because we're all of a sudden got at the moment 23 cars left running in this race.
It's just everyone's falling off now. It's all back packing up then. As we see Thompson then, oh, he's into the back of someone that is. Oh, that opposite lock by Thompson there. That's Jason Cooper and Delmont ahead of him then. In the background, there's Van Gool then, bouncing across the track, rolling into the middle. Somehow the other guys avoid him. I think that was just after it there with Thompson. Let's have a look. This is McIntyre then, 3rd place. Yeah, we've gone back. Yeah, we've gone back to live then, haven't we? But that was a real shame for Steve Hefford though. You've got to think that it was almost guaranteed victory for Steve starting from pole around here. But well, it just shows you that you can't sort of bargain on it, can you? Just from your starting position, you have to put the effort in and get to the end. And it seems like something's gone wrong for him. But McIntyre now under proper pressure from Davis.
I tell you what, going up on the grass, going through the top of the mountain is not a good idea from McIntyre, but here comes Davis. He's getting onto the brakes though. He's deciding that this isn't the point that he wants to try and make it too wide. Quite wise really from the Welshman. As down the hill they go once again, heading towards Forest Elbow again. A crazy couple of laps there. We're on lap 5 at the moment, so we're going to get the penultimate lap starting next time by. Davis is being quite strong on the exit of Forest Elbow here in this event, but at the moment not quite getting close enough, but he is gaining now with that slipstream here, Chaz, and that's so crucial. And you can just see just that little bit of gaining as he goes up the Conrad Straight.
Yeah, he's just going to try and get the overlap. That's all you've got to do. If he can put the pressure on enough to get side by side by the kink, he might do it, but it seems like he's backing out a little bit there because he was gaining a bit quicker than that further down the straight. As we look just behind there, Benjamin Mears and that's Luke Cooper then, side by side now for 5th and 6th. Mears obviously losing a little bit of time there, but he's got actually a nice run there. He took a bit of a wider exit, sorry, a wider apex, and he's actually got a decent run, but it seems like Luke Cooper's going to keep it down the inside then. Mears at the moment, highest AM driver. It's how he started the day before his incident. And he's hoping to finish that way because Rob Graham is the next AM driver. You can see on the timing screen on the left there. Green strips obviously notifying who is the AM drivers as Delmont's going down the order after contact, it seemed, with Thompson. They both went red on that screen on the left for a second then, which meant they went off track. So something might happen between the two. Thompson's carried on quite well. Maybe they both just sort of drifted wide. We'll have a quick look then. Delmont's actually behind going into the corner. Does he go for a late move or does he lose it or something? Let's have a look.
They just
they just both went wide. Oh, Delmont clipping the wall a little bit though, so he is a little bit worse off. So apologies, Josh, for assuming it was contact. But here we go then. He's side by side. That's Holmes going past him.
And look at that, Brian Holmes up 26 positions in this race here today. Great drive from Brian. You can see the positions again. Jack McIntyre, yeah, up 18 positions as well in the podium position. So great run from those two drivers. Plenty of others who have done well in this one as we've got side by side out the cutting behind those two. That, I believe that is Dan Hunt. And it is Adam Delmont, and Delmont just dropping down another place. So Dan Hunt up to 11th place, up 15 positions for him in this one at the moment. So we're on the penultimate lap here, and we seem to have in that second and third race, in this third race here, Chaz, a couple of mad sort of 10 minutes, and then it all calms down again.
Yeah, it's like the calm before the storm, though, isn't it? You've got to think when's the next sort of outburst going to be. As Delmont ran wide there, which we just got away from him. Delmont seemed to run wide, but he's still on the road. So with it being Bathurst, you know, if you run wide enough, you're going to end up hitting a wall one way or another. So he's still done it. We had a quick look at his two Youth Energy teammates behind him then as well, Walker and Anwar Beryl-Smith. Anwar leading the championship coming into this meeting then. Ryan Walker really proving himself as well so far in the MX5. He started joining in with this series not long ago. I believe it was partway through the summer series, and he had a really good race meeting one, and then he's just gone up and up from there. He's been putting the pace in, but his teammates just about show him how it's done now down the straight with the help of some slipstream, of course, as Anwar goes past on his right-hand side.
Yeah, he certainly does. Two teammates battling at the front as well, by the way, that we'll have to keep an eye on at some point. But yeah, the two teammates there in the Youth Energy cars swapping positions then. So it's Anwar Smith up to 13th. And Ryan Walker down to 14th, but still both gaining in the teams positions there, 15 and 16 places respectively for those two. Your lead battle though, Chepelewski, it's actually quite close at the moment. Half a second between them, and look behind as well. You've got close action there, and in fact Chepelewski letting his teammate through. Now, is there a point for leading the lap, or is Chepelewski deciding that this is really Jamie's race to be able to work towards a championship? But either way, it's 3 Momo cars in your top 3, but Nathan Davis putting the pressure on Jack McIntyre as they head into Griffin's Bend, and the Swift Cooper Esports driver is not giving this one up. He wants a podium here.
Yeah, he's got to push for it at the end of the day. I mean, when you're this high up anyway, and you're against guys the caliber of Jack McIntyre, for example, then you just got to really, really push. McIntyre's not going to let anything slip, so why not, really, isn't it? It's a sort of a why not rather than why. I'm sure we'll see what his intentions are. I'm sure the body language of that car will make that very clear very shortly. But Jack's not an easy cookie to catch and pass, so we, on the other hand, we might not.
Well, Greg Murray Walker used to say catching is one thing, passing is quite another. And do you know what? I think Chepelewski's he's dropping back here as Chepelewski is maybe well, he's not carrying some damage, so it must be just to help out his teammates in this one. So McIntyre needs the help down the Conrod Straight, and he's getting to about the slipstream point of being close enough to Chepelewski as they go onto the Conrod Straight, and that'll certainly help McIntyre in the defence of the position against Nathan Davis. And Davis, not the best run out of Forest Elbow, so as they go down the Conrod Straight once again underneath the Mitsubishi Fuso banner, and they'll be heading towards the chase for the final time in this third race. We've got one more race coming up after this one, so you don't want to go anywhere, that's for sure. But your leader, the Welshman, Jamie Ayres, through the left, through the right of the chase, flips the curb on the left-hand side there, down towards Murray's Corner once again. For the final time in this race number 3 of 4, it is Jamie Ayres who takes the victory here in this third race. Stella Chepelewski in second, and it's a Momo 1-2-3 with Jack McIntyre in third place. David Davis just couldn't quite get close enough to make that position count. We've got battling further down Rob Graham and David Ayres. In fact, it's going to be a change of position, is it, between the two of them? 2 AMP drivers, and getting onto the grass there was David Ayres, and Rob Graham is going to end up losing the position because of that mistake from Ayres. I don't think Rob will be too pleased with that as they come across the line here. In fact, Rob could lose enough position here to Mick Barry. No, he doesn't. Across the line, they're close, but they don't end up swapping positions. And, well, that was a big mistake to make there. And I think Rob will be having a few words with him in that one. But what a race there in the end, Chaz. Jamie Ayres with the victory when it looked like it was going to be Steve Hefford's for so long.
Yeah, it was real shame for him, like I say, for him to lose out on that one. But Jamie, a really, really well-deserved win there. He's been quick in this all season. I mean, he always is. He was actually the, from my first commentary back at Watkins Glen, as he's copying the antics of his teammate Jack McIntyre there from race 2. He was the first person I saw win the BSR MX5 race, and he's still doing that today. And, well, that's just... Is he going to... I don't know. I didn't know whether he was going to save that then, but brilliant display of car control by these guys, and it's another aspect as to why they're so quick. if you can control the small slides like that and keep the momentum of this car going, as I've always said, it's a very softly set up car. It warbles around a little bit, but if you can control that and get it around the corners well enough, and obviously hold your speed for the exit, then yeah, that's why you end up winning races, isn't it?
All right, Momo, nobody likes a show off here, but let's go through the results then in race number 3 as he's about to lose control of the car. There it goes. And it's Jamie Ayres then who wins this one, 1.9 seconds ahead of his teammate Stellan Chepeliski. And as I mentioned, a Momo 1, 2, 3 with Jack McIntyre rounding out your top 3 there. Nathan Davis for Swift Cooper Esports ahead of his teammate Luke Cooper, who's finished in 5th. Ultimec, the highest placed amateur driver, Benjamin Mears in 6th, Brian Holmes 7th. Jason Cooper, Josh Thompson, and Dan Hunt round out your top 10. And then behind them, Adam Delmont, Nick McCarron, Anwar Smith, Ryan Walker, David Ayres in 15th, your next AM driver ahead of Rob Graham. I think Rob will have a few words about that one. Nick Barry in 17th with Scott Malcolm in 18th place. Then it's Joe McDonald, Jeroen Ursum, 19th and 20th. Jordan Giddings in 21st place with Tyler Lugo Vickery, able to finish that one in 22nd. And Kip Stevens rounded out your finishers, and he will be eligible if it's a full reverse grid from 23rd place. Then your guys who did not finish: Steve Hefford, Charlie Summers, Pete Van Gool, Craig Williams, Adam McNally, Pete Knowles, Carl Hardy, Jack Ashton, Carl Giacoletti, Craig Jones, Max Wright, and Mikey Key rounded out the non-finishers in this event. And well, once again, we'll hand it off to the safe hands of Samula Kumar, who'll be able to give us the reverse grid, the final reverse grid of the evening.
Thanks, Paul. And the wheel should be on your screen right now, so let's not waste any time and just spin it. I'm kind of hoping for another big one, but it may not be. It is 25.
25, well, that was Charlie Summers, but he was 3 laps down, so the driver who finished eligible was Kip Stevens. So Kip Stevens will be on pole position ahead of Tyler Lugo Vickery on the front row, Jordan Giddings and Jeroen Ursum rounding out the front 2 rows of the grid. So what we'll do is we'll let them set up that final race of the evening. And don't forget, you are watching the BSR MX5 Cup Autumn Series from Mount Panorama, Bathurst, here on Apex Racing TV. Don't go anywhere. In about 5 or 10 minutes, we'll be here for the final race of the evening.
How hard the impact was against what, that will give you that sense of like, man, that person really crashed hard, or oh, it was just a small bump.
Hi, my name is Chris Lurch. I'm one of the vehicle dynamicists here at iRacing. Our role in the collision project is to tune the collision properties of each and every car to ensure that they behave in wrecks as a real car would. And we've spent quite a bit of time going through literature from the automotive industry on the subject to make sure that we have panels that deform the way they're supposed to, both temporarily and permanently, that pieces that don't deform but rather just break at appropriate times in appropriate ways. The cars are absorbing energy the way they should and aren't sort of bouncing off the walls in crazy ways. The major properties that we look at are stiffnesses, which is how much a piece of the car deforms when a load is applied to it. And then we look at a couple of limits. One is the force limit beyond which the piece deforms permanently. And then the second limit that we look at is the brake limit, the force limit beyond which the piece will simply break. And then we also will look at damping, which is how much the piece absorbs energy versus how much it takes like a spring and can absorb as potential energy and then rebound back out like a basketball would.
My name is Stephen Corpenos. I'm a senior web developer here at iRacing, and I work on the beta UI. It's funny because iRacing has been around for 10 years, but we want to keep delivering the best possible user experience to our customers, and we've found that the old UI isn't exactly what we're trying to deliver in 2018. We want to use new features and provide the best possible experience when using the sim. One of the projects that I've been working on is some custom heat racing configuration for hosted races. We've been listening to our customers. Everyone's been asking for custom heat races. Maybe you want to tweak a few things with the preset iRacing configurations. Well, now you can using the beta UI. So once you're at the home page of the beta UI, you just go to create a race. Then from there you go to your set race options. And you'll notice here under event types, you can actually choose heat racing. First, I'm going to show you how to create a new format from scratch. You can choose the number of entrants. And as you can see, when I made that change, the change was actually reflected on the right side in the graph. Also, you can use the estimated duration at the bottom of the graph when you're changing the length to see what the total duration of your event will be. In addition, you can customize every aspect of the session information, practice, qualifying, heat races, consolations, and of course, the final feature race. Because the beta UI allows us to develop features that are robust and complex, this feature will be exclusively available on the beta UI. Once you've made all of the changes, you can hit save. Say you forgot what you selected. You can always preview it using the preview format button. We are very excited to release the brand new heat racing configuration feature that will be available in Season 3 of iRacing.
Team racing allows multiple iRacing members to team up and race together just like in real-world endurance series. Teammates can share driving duties, spot for one another, or be a crew chief. Team racing is free both to join a team and to create one. Each teammate races on his or her own computer from wherever they want to. Your teammates can be anywhere in the world, and changing drivers mid-race is as easy as a click of a button. iRacing features team endurance events ranging from just a couple of hours to 24 hours in length. So, if you fancy taking part in an iRacing endurance race in the future, you can learn more about team racing on the teams page on the member website. the most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real-world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Welcome back to Apex Racing TV and the BSR MX5 Cup Autumn Series. Here, myself, Paul Smith, alongside me, Chaz Drake with Samula Kumar, also in the booth here as well. And as you can see, we're at Mount Panorama. Of course, steepest gradient on this track, 1 in 6.13. That's quite a steep track with the highest to lowest points, 174 meters, Chaz. That's the type of conditions they're having to fight against on this track here today as we're heading over to the start of this race. So we're going to be able to bring your grid up right now on screen, hopefully give you a bit more time here. Kip Stevens on pole position, then ahead of Tyler Lugo Vickery with Jordan Giddings in third. Jerome Ursum in fourth place with Joe McDonald fifth. Scott Malcolm in sixth with Mick Barry seventh. Rob Graham 8th, David Ayres 9th, and Ryan Walker 10th. And then we'll just go through the rest of them really quickly. Anwar Smith, we've also got Nick McCarron, Adam Delmont, Daniel Hunt, Josh Thompson, Jason Cooper, Brian Holmes, Benjamin Mears, Luke Cooper, Nathan Davis, Jack McIntyre, Stellan Chepileski, Jamie Ayres, Steve Hefford, Charlie Summers, Pete Van Hool, Craig Williams, Adam McNally in 28th. In the final few rows, Peter Knowles, Carl Hardy, Jack Ashton, Carl Jacquelet, and well, we're going to have to get going because the engine revs are rising. Lights go out, away we go for the final race of the evening here. Good start away from the front for Kip Stevens in towards turn number 1. For the lap number 1 here, will we see an accident? We've been pretty clean through turn 1 at the start of these races. Joe McDonald is dropping down the order again. He's just pulled over to the side there. We've got cars on the grass on the exit of Hell Corner as we're heading up up the hill towards Griffin's Bend, over the rise and down. It is Kip Stevens is in the lead. Jordan Giddings, though, up into second place, although he's side by side with Tyler Lugo Vickery. And Cole, round he goes there. Giddings into the wall. He's on the inside though. Everyone should stay out of the way. 58 in the wall as well.
That was one of the Momo cars into him then. I'm really hoping, for his sake, it's not Steve Hefford, but it is. It is Steve Hefford. I was speaking to him between races because he was, speaking to him yesterday as well, and he was saying that he's worried that tonight might not go to plan. He blew his engine in the last race. He wasn't actually involved in that incident. Now it's got even worse for him, unfortunately, dropping down to the back of the field as we see now Rob Graham side by side with Ursum as they come over the crest of the hill now. Down through the left hand, he's really close to the wall though, making the most of every inch of the circuit, but it's a bright train now for this battle, probably from about 3rd down to about 8th place, maybe even 9th.
Yeah, Graham through McPhillamay Park, heading towards Skyline for the first time. Your leader out front, Kip Stevens, and it's Malcolm, Tyler, Luca Vickery.
David Ayres
is dropping down the order on our timing screens at the moment. So he's obviously had an accident at some point over the top of the mountain. as down into Forest Elbow for the first time in this final race. Running wide into the wall there. Oh, that's a disaster for Tyler Lugavickery. He's going to pull it over into the wall. Don't have it bounce back onto the track. Well done to keep it out the way of everyone there, Tyler, because that could have gone a whole lot worse. Side by side, Mick Barry and Ryan Walker, along with Anwar Smith as well, heading down the Conrad Straight for the first time here. And these drivers sorting themselves out. We've got almost 3 wide further back. Josh Thompson is involved with that. Dan Hunt.
He's
Josh Thompson's dropping down the order. He's going to be off the track. There he is. He's had a big moment there. He's had a spin in the gravel as well. He's going to get back up and running. He drives around that tyre barrier. And he's doing the sensible thing, letting other cars get past to be able to make it back onto track safely. Scott Malcolm into the back of the car in front of him, and Ryan Walker's going to go for that one. So too is Anwar Smith as Scott Malcolm down a position. And here comes Walker now around the outside of turn number 1. You can make that one count, and that's exactly what Walker has done. Jumped. Big instant, and it's one of the Swift Cooper Esports cars.
Yeah, he went across his teammate as well. That car is not handling right. He needs to get that out of the way. Another fine job there of moving a horribly handling car out of the way there. Unfortunate for Luke Cooper. Not sure which of his teammates he came across the front of there. It might have even been Davis, but that thing's not going to go anywhere.
Park that car.
Yeah.
Park that car.
You need to
thing, Luke.
Keep it still, set it on fire, and just never look at it again. As we go back at Adam Delmont then, McIntyre right on his rear quarter now. You might think he's going to go down the inside, and hopefully not going down the inside there is Malcolm on Erson. That might have been contact, but McIntyre gets the job done, shows him how it is done. But he's still actually there now on the inside as Delmont as they go up the hill.
Yeah, really good. You can go side by side here. You have to compromise each other's lines though if you're going side by side through there, as Nathan Davis has dropped down our timing sheet now as well. In this one we're looking at this then, and well, we're looking at Davis then in that Swift Cooper. Hit the cutting there, and getting caught in with other cars as well. Big instant.
But that was quite scary to come around there then and suddenly see a car facing you the other way. Real shame there. Not quite sure who he got involved with. I think Mikey Key was one of them in the other result clothing car. He's gone down the order. But real shame there for Nathan Davis as he's still having some sort of drama there. Not quite sure what happened when he got it going again.
I'll tell you who's laughing all the way to the bank at the moment. It's Kip Stevens, who's best part 3.5 seconds ahead of the rest of the field, because Rob Graham, Ryan Walker and Anwar Smith are all battling it out over second place. But there's Kip in the Swift Cooper Esports car in through towards the chase. But look at this battle for second place now. Rob Graham, he's got Ryan Walker alongside him. Here comes Anwar Smith as well, but Smith doing the correct thing, just backing off, let his teammate battle over the curb. Goes Rob Graham, kind of compromises Anwar Smith's exit there through the chase. But as they're heading down towards the final corner at Murray's, you would imagine that Anwar Smith is going to get that job done around the outside. No, he isn't, but he's going to maybe try and get the run. No, he doesn't even get that. So not the best as a Momo car having to avoid an accident. That was the purple mirror cars and mirrors, and that's Jack McIntyre. So he had to take avoiding actor over your own
sorry.
Yeah,
down the inside of Malcolm.
Wow.
Yeah, he was just flinging it down the inside of Malcolm. I think Chepelewski's been side by side with Delmont for the last few corners now. Delmont was coming over a little bit in the braking zone, it seemed, into the last corner, and Cheppy's not having any of it. He's now on the other side of him, so he must have had a crossover at some point. There's 2 by 2 and even 3 wide behind them there in the background. I think that was Cooper. It is Jason Cooper there, sorry. I think it's Mick Barry in there with him as well. Nick McCarran and Summers involved in that one.
Camera on the wall. That was Scott Malcolm.
There's
another
Barry
one.
around.
Oh dear, it's not been Mick Barry's night here, and he's going to have to wait patiently. There's smoke. There's cars around. It's Scott Malcolm. Big incident, and he's taking his teammate with him. There's Josh Thompson as well.
Keep it still, boys. Stop reversing into the track. Just keep it still. That's all they've got to do. McDonald makes his way through. Mikey Key's involved, and that was just an absolute he's still reversing
when this car's there. But let's have a look at the replay of this one. McNally was caught up with Scott Malcolm and run wide. There was rubbing. McNally. Scott. I'm sorry, Scott, but you've you've messed that one up there a little bit, and I know he'll take that to heart as well. So yeah, not the best there, unfortunately. But they all, well, I'm surprised that there wasn't even more cars involved in that one. McNally is still running here as Ursum having a little bit of contact down at Forest Elbow.
Oh,
and he's getting bullied out the way here by this gaggle. Oh dear, 3 wide.
Dan Hunt's in the middle of it. Stelian Chepelevsky's in there as well with Delmont. On the left-hand side there, you've got Jamie Ayres, and then you've got Ursum and Cooper as well. These guys all the way from 6th to 11th, somehow still all on the track. They're 2 by 2, then 3 deep. Delmont and Cheppy, then it's Ayres and Hunt. Delmont taking the really wide line, but there's no point because there's a green and red Momo car on the inside. Can't make much of it. Hunt's a little bit later than everyone on the brakes there, as, oh, well off in the background, that's Nick McCarron going straight on. Somehow these guys all still managing to sort it all out.
Yes, they head down to Murray's once again. We are on lap number 4 of this race then, and hats off to Delmont in that one to be able to get the run through the chase. But here comes Chepelevsky down the inside, Dan Hunt as well down the inside of Ayres, but it's Chepelevsky looking to the inside. Delmont can run it round the outside. We've seen that happen a few times. At the outside line is actually the preferred line in this car, carrying the speed through that up the mountain. And Delmont and Chepelevsky once again side by side here, Chaz. It's almost like deja vu. We had this last lap as the cars in front as well, Graham and Anwar Smith battling. We've got 3 wide behind them. Dan Hunt is involved in that one, almost coming to blows there, but managing to keep it out. Chepelevsky, how's he kept out the wall?
That was unbelievable by Chepelevsky there. It was like there was a massive magnet on the outside with a big Mazda logo on it, and he somehow kept it away. As he's down the inside of Cooper, there's contact. Cooper's around. McIntyre's involved. Dear. Cooper's into the middle, and there's Ursum into him as well. Real shame there.
And that's taken his teammate, by the way, Pete Van Gool, another Momo car out of this race. So Chepelevsky just causing that by sticking his nose in when it really was on there. And that's caused a chain reaction and almost a track blockage. Dan Hunt side by side in front with Adam Delmont. So Delmont and Hunt as they head into Skyline. It's race 4. The gloves are off here.
Delmont
Still. Oh, great car control, but Chaz, they're going to give us a bit of a heart attack here.
Oh, I'll tell you what, it's a good thing I'm wearing a brown dressing gown when I'm doing this. Flipping, this is unbelievable. Delmont somehow saving that and keeping the position from Dan Hunt there, but it is a bit of a shame to see some of these guys doing these moves that are a bit too risky with the people around them, and Ayres has jumped to the pit lane as well. Must be from, well, actually, I don't believe he was part of that earlier incident, unfortunately, so not quite sure what's happened to him there. As we see now, Delmont and Hunt still side by side. Hunt's got the better run. Just going to fly past on the left-hand side. There's not even much slipstream involved there. Behind them is Chepelevsky and then Summers. Will Delmont still try and put it down near the inside of the brakes? He's still side by side with them though. He's got the inside line. It's worked out for him. Hunt coming across a bit, giving him literally the minimum amount of room he needs. Delmont now is on the inside as they come through the right-hander. Great stuff by Adam Delmont there, really sort of sticking his elbows out and getting it done.
While all that was going on, Jack McIntyre has moved up into 2nd place in this race as well. We'll keep an eye on this battle as actually McIntyre, you look at that, he's got Ryan Walker in his slipstream. Best AM driver at the moment, by the way, just to mention him, Rob Graham in 5th place, having a good final race of this evening. We've only got 20 cars left running in this field, so it's been a high drama, high stakes race in this one. Ryan Walker trying to use the slipstream of that car in front to get with McIntyre to make a move possibly into Griffins. He's not going to do that, but all this actually, they're gaining on Kip Stevens in front of them.
Yeah, he's going to be watching his mirrors now thinking, well, how long is it going to be before they catch up? We're only on to lap 5 though, so there is this one and 2 more yet, and we're not even halfway round. So on my predictions on this, I think McIntyre might be able to do it, but as you said earlier, the great Murray Walker once said that catching is one thing, overtaking is quite another, and I'm sure that Kip's going to make sure that that is definitely another.
Dan Hunt's down 2 positions and Delmont down as well, so I believe there may have been a little bit of an incident between those drivers. Possibly at the cutting. Here we go. It's Delmont and Hunt into the cutting they go. I'm predicting a little quarter panel. Bang! There it is. Around they go. Chepelevsky takes avoiding action into the wall on the outside there and manages to get past them both. So back to live, and Dan Hunt down to 9th place. That one really wasn't on there. Again, a couple of moves here that's just letting these drivers down in this final race. But as we say, Chaz, it's the final race. And look at that battle for the lead now, Chaz.
Yeah, Stevens has dropped a lot of time to McIntyre now, and it's got to be on for Jack now. He's going to come out to the right-hand side. He's got a really good run. Not quite sure what happened to Kip. Maybe he's had a bit of a moment coming down the hill, but as I go over the crest now, and that very, wow, I had to adjust my eyes for a second then as we went on board. You'll see Jack McIntyre gradually pulling in front. There he is. He's got the move done before they've even got to the kink. Now will Kip put it down the inside on the brakes. He's going to show his nose, plays it safe. He's probably going to be going for championship points at this stage because he's right up there near the front now, but you can just see McIntyre driving away. It's like he's in a completely different car, isn't it?
I will say I'm glad that Kip has moved away from his psychedelic rainbow colours that he used to run in MX5. Says, oh, we've got battling going on. Chepelevsky's dropping down. Hunt is through. Summers is through. Delmont's right with Chepelevsky as well. So this 4-car train, it's not over yet. By the way, fastest lap of the race was from Jack McIntyre on that last lap at 2:29.5. Kip Stevens on that last lap at 2:32.3. So almost 2 seconds slower than Jack. But here we are, that battle. Summers and Hunt into turn number 1, hell corner, try and carry the speed. You've got to carry the speed all the way through here, up the mountain, because it is such a steep hill. You want to carry as much speed as possible. You've got a battle for second place going on. Ryan Walker now down the inside of Stevens at Griffin's Bend. Will he make that move stick? I believe he will, and here goes the contact! No. Oh, you have to ask the question, who drifted across who in that one? I'll tell you who's going to be happy with that. Rob Graham. He could end up on the podium here with this one. Anwar Smith's up to 2nd place. And Rob Graham, though, your best AM driver, up into 3rd place in this one. He's got a big gap behind him now. Oh, it's a nightmare, though, for Ryan Walker and for Kip Stevens in that one.
Yeah, it just didn't need to happen. Really, really didn't need to happen at all. Going up to the cut-in, we've seen a few incidents tonight anyway, and these boys should have known that. I mean, I know they've been in the front and might not have seen it, but poor Ryan Walker, he's actually had a really good evening result-wise. He's been actually spent a lot of time on track with Anwar. He really needs to just be careful he doesn't come across anyone else on this one here, as he's on the inside line now and needs to be careful. But Dan Hunt then, still under pressure. He's got Summers, Chepelevsky and Delmont right behind him as he comes down the really steep part of the hill here. This is, it's amazing to see any sort of car go down there, but the MX5's bouncing around and sort of wobbling in the way that they do, and somehow still carrying this much speed through there. It just shows you how much of a nippy piece of kit it is, doesn't it?
As out that Forest Elbow once again, the slipstream will be coming into effect. Jack McIntyre, by the way, I believe he's got, say, a good gap between him and Anwar Smith. Rob Graham is being fine as well, but look at this battle here. Dan Hunt, Charlie Summers, Selin Chepelevsky and Adam Delmont, and there's the slipstream effects coming into play, and Dan Hunt's thinking the long game here. He wants the inside line for the chase, but Summers goes through. Here comes Chepelevsky now, and Hunt again. That's battles from BSR past happening once again on track between the two of them. Delmont's looking tasty. He's wanting a bit of this action as well as they're heading on to the final lap of the race here, Chaz. And, well, we've only got 18 cars remaining in this race here. It's been a bit of a race of attrition here.
Yeah, definitely nearly half of the field, well, pretty much half of the field. They started with 35 cars being taken out in various incidents that we've seen, all of different qualities, as Anwar now right behind Jack McIntyre. Jack obviously hasn't got the job done enough to get away completely. It's going to be a great battle for the win here between these two. These guys are both really quick. Just taking a quick look at the championship standings at the moment. Anwar obviously before this round was leading the championship with McIntyre. I can't actually see him in the top few. It seems like he had a might not have been around for the first few rounds or something, but I can't see him up there anyway. It's just obviously got to be full on attack now from Anwar. He can't afford to do anything less. As I was saying, sorry, go on.
I'm going to say Anwar Smith with the fastest lap on the last lap as well of this race. So you see how these cars are just getting quicker and quicker as Charlie Summers has got ahead of Adam Delmont. But we'll focus on this battle here for your race victory. And as we head through Skyline. The car goes light over the top of the brow there, into the braking zone, into the dipper, another brow there, then the compression, in through these few left to right, left and then the right and into Forest Elbow. Downhill, braking zone. That car in front didn't look great on the brakes, looked to be close to the wall, and now McIntyre is going to be under serious pressure here because Anwar Smith has the slipstream. There is a car up ahead that's travelling slowly. Hopefully Anwar Smith will see this because we don't want them to pull out from behind with them right in front, but no, they don't. So Smith gonna go just up into the lead here as they're going down the Conrod Straight in towards the chase for the final time in this race. Can McIntyre hold it out on the inside? McIntyre onto the brakes. Great late braking from him. He gives space to Anwar Smith as well as they're coming in towards the final corner. They're still side by side heading into this final one, and it's going to be the last of the late breakers then. McIntyre down the inside, Anwar Smith down the outside. Who's it going to be across the line? It's going to be Anwar Smith across the line there. Fantastic driving between the two of them. Look back because you've got battling going on here, and it's Dan Hunt ahead of the Chepelevsky and also Charlie Summers between the two of them. Charlie Summers is going to finish 5th, Dan Hunt in 4th. Wow, what battling there. Craig Jones is involved quite close with Jason Cooper as well here as we're heading down towards the end of this one. We've only got 18 cars left. Maybe a late dive. You're too far back there though, Craig. Not able to make a move into that final corner. But wow, what a finish there between your two leaders then, Chaz.
Yeah, that was brilliant stuff. You could visually see the frustration though from McIntyre as he knew he'd lost out on the run. Flinging the car around in frustration as he crossed the line, but well-deserved win by Anwar Smith. He's put in a lot of effort tonight, and he's had a bit of bad luck in some of them getting caught up in incidents, but he fought through it all in the last race of the day, and he's shown us some fantastic pace. And I mean, they did pretty much identical lap times in the last lap there as well, actually. No, sorry, that was their best laps, are pretty much identical, sorry. But yeah, it's good for Youth Energy to get a win. He's obviously going to be very happy with that one. Is Anwar top of the championship coming into this, as I've said, so he might leave in the same place.
Yeah, absolutely. We're still waiting for the last couple of cars to come across the line. Some very battered and bruised cars out there. The ones that actually finishing this race are battered and bruised, let alone the other cars that didn't finish at all. So definitely been a race of attrition in this event here today. I think Carl Hardy and Max Wright are going to be the last couple of drivers to come across the line possibly in this one. Max Wright, although Forest Elbow round that corner down the straight here. Carl Hardy's a bit further ahead of him, so I do believe we're nearly at the point where we're actually going to be able to give you results. But wow, that was breathless. That was just sheer excitement there throughout that race, and Anwar Smith, what a result for him to take the victory in that one in such a close battle. Had to battle his way through, plus 10 positions, 19 positions gained for Jack McIntyre. Charlie Summers 20 positions gained. Best gainers though, Craig Jones with 22 positions in your race there. But well, as I do believe we've got the last of the cars across the line, hopefully, if Smula gives me the nod, we should be able to give you some results here. As Max Wright actually pulls over his car, and he's deciding to reverse the car over the line. Of course, we have to wait for Max, and of course he makes us wait a little bit longer. But there he goes across the line then to finish this race in reverse gear. And so let's go to your final race results here from race number 4 of the BSR MX5 Cup Autumn 2018 Bathurst edition. And it's Anwar Burrell Smith who takes the victory, 0.1 of a second ahead of Jack McIntyre in second place. Rob Graham, great result for the Scotsman there. The best AM runner finishing in third place, with Dan Hunt 4th ahead of Charlie Summers in 5th, who only finished a 10th of a second ahead of Stanley Chepelevsky in 6th place, who only finished 0.3 of a second ahead of Adam Delmott in 7th. Nick McCarron, rather quiet race for him in that final one, in 8th place ahead of Craig Williams in 9th. Jason Cooper rounding out your top 10 with Craig Jones in 11th. Joe McDonald 13th with Adam McNally 14th. Jeroen Ursum in 14th place. David Ayres 15th with Jack Ashton in 16th place. Cal Hardy 17th. And 18th place, last of the runners, Max Wright. And then all of these drivers did not finish that race, although 2 drivers will score points, having been classified a lap down. That's Kip Stevens and Ryan Walker. And Jamie Ayres, Pete Van Gool, Pete Knowles, Scott Malcolm, Mick Barry, Benjamin Mears, Josh Thompson, Carl Jacquelette, Luke Cooper, Nathan Davis, Mikey Key, Jordan Giddings, Tyler Lugo Vickery, Brian Holmes and Steve Hefford all did not finish that race. Well, I believe we're going to have some drivers to talk to, Chaz, so why don't you take it away then with one of the drivers. I don't know who you're going to grab, so grab the driver if you like it.
I'll surprise you, here you go. It's Jack Ashton, ladies and gentlemen.
Hello.
After you, Paul, sorry.
No, it's your interview. You take it away, Jack.
Well, Jack, we saw a lot of chaos on track tonight. Some really good racing, but at the same time, a lot of silly incidents. You were saying to me earlier that you were actually in VR for the accident you got involved in, where your car turned into, as you put it, a ballerina. How did that feel?
Yeah, let's say sickening was probably the word to describe that. It wasn't fun at all. I think probably closing my eyes was the best idea at that time. But yeah, no, it's really mixed bag results tonight for me, really. Happy with the third I got in race 2. Okay in race 1, I suppose, but last 2 races were a bit of a mess for me, to be fair. But yeah, no, it was a good night.
Yeah, was the sort of overall consensus, sorry if I can get my words out, the same throughout the whole team? I mean, did they get much success as well? Obviously, Amwell getting the win, but we obviously didn't keep that much of a track of how closely they were all racing together.
Yeah, I think a lot of us did get a few DNFs and bad damage, but I think a few of us did get through to the top 10 spots a few times. So overall, not too bad, but I think we could have done better today. But it's one of them, I think. Could do better next round. I'm not sure what the next round is, actually.
I'm just trying to have a look myself, actually, as well, while you were saying that. Obviously, this is a difficult track to come to and get results from, because in such a close-knit series, it is easy, for instance, to develop and obviously hold people up, and freak accidents can occur. I mean, was it something you were expecting, or were you hoping to be sort of up there from qualifying?
Well, I knew Bathurst is going to be a nightmare, really. I think everyone did with the balls. They do jump out on people, that's for sure. But yeah, I wasn't sure what it was going to be like. I've done a fair amount of practice for this round, but the last few I haven't been doing as much, so I was hoping to be a bit more up there, which I suppose my third showed that today. But yeah, I'm not sure. Did alright, I suppose.
Well, I'm still trying to find out the next round for you, but obviously it's going to be it's Suzuka. Just been informed. Is it a track that you enjoy racing on? Is it something you're looking forward to?
I haven't done much of it in the past. I'm fairly new to iRacing, I suppose. I keep buying the track for each round that we have at MX5, to be fair. So yeah, it's not something I've done on iRacing, but I have done in the past on other sim racing, so I think it should be quite a good event for me. I'm not too bad around there, so yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Good track.
Yeah, it's a bit of a bigger circuit in terms of the width of it, so maybe less incidents, maybe a bit more slipstream on the faster parts. Do you think it'll be suited to the MX5? Do you think it'll, I mean, on like a one-lap basis, do you reckon it'd be nice to drive there?
Yeah, definitely. I think the MX5 really suits like the flow-in corners. And having a lot of flowing fast corners at Suzuka, I think that probably suited quite well. And like you say, quite a lot of slipstreaming action down that straight really suits these cars quite well. So I think it could introduce quite a lot of good racing there. I think definitely. Brilliant,
good stuff. Well, before you go today, Bud, do you want to give a quick shout out to anyone?
Yeah, definitely. Shout out to all the team, Youth Energy, absolute dons for letting me join the team and be a part of it, and I seem to be doing quite well at the moment with them, so thanks for that, and for you guys with the stream as well. You do a good job.
Thanks very much, mate. Well, Jack, we wish you the best of luck. We'll see you next week.
Thank you, mate.
Cheers.
Bye.
So yeah,
Jack Ashton there.
yeah, Jack Ashton there, absolutely a bit of an eventful evening for him. Why don't we drag our race winner from the final round? Let's drag it in here then. And Anwar, congratulations, race winning that final one, but it was an eventful evening for yourself.
Yeah, you could say that. It was a bit up and down for the whole evening, but it was a sort of an evening of what could have been, because I had good pace around here, and it's my own fault for not doing a good quali lap, and I didn't really capitalise on that in the first race. And second race, well, it was just one of those things, unfortunately. But the third race, I got to finally have a decent battle with people, and yeah, good result out of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Then, of course, this final race win, which is good for Youth Energy. Of course, you were coming into this race event as the championship leader, so I mean, Bathurst is one of those tracks that can really sort of mix up and give you some abnormalities in race results, can't it?
Yeah, exactly. I think I was saying to someone else before today that you know, if you finish all 4 races at Bathurst, then you're doing something right. That's an achievement in itself, and unfortunately I didn't. So, but 3 out of 4 wasn't too bad, and you know, I think a few of my other rivals didn't finish either, so that took the pressure off a little bit. But you know, it's one of those tracks where this car is really good fun to drive around this track, but it's horrible to race around, because once you go up that mountain, it just compresses, and then it's single file for the whole way through the mountain section, and you're just literally hoping that no one clips a wall or clips a curb, because if they do, it's game over. So in that sense, it's fun. I guess it's good watching on the TV, but yeah, it's a little bit tentative when you're going through the first couple of laps for sure.
Well, you know, heading on to the rest of the season, what's your approach then for the rest of the season? Do you want a little bit of help from your teammates, or yeah, to help you out with the rest of this championship?
Well, to be honest, I'm going to have to miss a round, unfortunately, so it's going to be probably down to Brian in the championship now. So I'm probably going to have to play Bottas sooner than I think. But it is what it is, you know. Unfortunately, life comes first at the end of the day, so not a lot you can do. But, you know, I think my aim for the rest of the championship is, you know, with those automatic 4 drops I'm going to have, just to try and stay as close to the top 5 as I can, and keep on getting as many podiums as I can. And look, I think just really look ahead to the next season now for me. The team championships are always the most important thing, and if we can somehow stay ahead of Momo this season and take it back off them, I think we'll be happy with that.
Well, with no Momo knocking bells out of each other, then they'll certainly help you with that. But
yeah,
they
always do that to each other, and they somehow still win. So I don't know how they manage. They must drive tanks or something. But yeah.
Well, before we let you go, then I know your teammates are giving some thanks for the team, but I'll give you the opportunity.
Yeah, well, obviously thanks to the Youth Energy boys, because they're brilliant guys, and it's always a good laugh each week that we race. That's the main thing. It's the most important part of it all. In particular, thanks to Ryan in a couple of the races, we had a good run together, and it's unfortunate that he had a bit of an incident 2 laps to go in that last one, because it could have been a 3-way fight for the lead. But yeah, but thanks to those guys, they make it enjoyable, and even when you have a DNF, it's still a good laugh.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations on the race winning that final. Best for the rest of the season.
Yeah, cheers, boys. Great job as always. Appreciate it.
Thanks very much.
Chaz, why don't you take it away then with the final interview, a certain Mr. Josh Thompson.
It is Josh. Josh, you had a bit of a mixed evening again, mate. Sort of shades of what happened in the World GT Championship yesterday. How did you feel it went overall?
Very frustrating, to be honest. Like, I don't know, I was wrong place, wrong time in every single race I felt tonight. Just tried to be the one to be sensible, try and avoid everything, and every time I did, I was when I got gobbled up by something else, so...
Yeah, it does seem like you're having a bit of bad luck with incidents at the moment. Pace-wise, though, did you feel like you were on it enough to maybe grab a win or even a podium tonight?
I think a win, I think I was definitely robbed of that win in race 3. So obviously I knew how the tow's so efficient here. I knew I had to work instead of fighting all the time, which a lot of people didn't grasp, but obviously Charlie grasped that in the last race to catch up to the gap in front to Steve and Delmont. So obviously I got up there, those two started battling, they both made contact. I was like, okay, I'll go around the outside. As I went to the outside, I saw Hefford blow his engine in front. So obviously I was like, that's going to be 4th to 1st in one corner. And if those two have crashed, I had a big gap back to Stellion. And then obviously it got absolutely rogered into the fence.
Yeah,
we rejoined, so...
We didn't actually see what happened in the incident. Now obviously trying to be as unbiased as possible. Do you mind sort of explaining quite what went on?
Coming out of Forest Elbow, I think Delmont went wide, clipped the wall on the exit, and obviously if you hit that wall, it bogs down quite a lot. Charlie got past him halfway up the straight. Delmont then slotted back in behind him, and with how powerful the toe is between the 5th and 6th gear, so obviously with the shift it bogs when you go to 6, but you have to do it if you're on the limiter.
Yeah.
So I think Charlie shifted to 6 and Adam kept in 5th, pulled out, hit the curb, bounced off the curb, tapped Charlie. At the same time I saw, but I went all the way to the left. I heard a little rub and stuff like that, I didn't know, and then Adam hit the wall. Charlie held it, but then the car over-rotated back on him and then came back across the track and hit me in the braking zone flat out, and it literally just pirouetted me off.
And there you go.
It was just a racing incident, really, but it was a silly one. Like, I think it was more of Delmont. I hate saying stuff. I'd never like calling people out and stuff. I'm never like that. But it was a bit of a desperate attempt to get back in. I think because he saw Hefford blow his engine, so it was a desperate move.
Yeah, Steve was saying that he was gutted for blowing his engine after seeing that what went on behind him. Obviously, it took out the main competition with you boys chasing him down. But obviously, like you say, racing incident mainly. These things happen. It is very sort of close. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're at Mount Panorama, aren't we? But are you looking forward to the next round? You're at Suzuka for the next one.
Hopefully. It's just the only downside is, and what I found quite hard this season, I basically ended round 1 last year, I got involved in a lot of crap at the end of round 1 at Montreal. So I took the season out. I've come back, and now Momo, Swift Cooper, and Youth Energy have all found something in pace. So I've gone from being able to jump in, like, I respect it, but it's weird because obviously now I jump in and I'll be 14th without actually trying. Whereas last year I could jump in and actually like just build myself up over the night and I'd still be at the front. Whereas like tonight I jumped in, did my first 2 laps, and I was down in 13th. I was like, I've got a lot of work to do tonight.
Yeah.
But Suzuka, I've done plenty of laps around there. And yeah, I need to repay the Result boys to sign me up. I wasn't going to do the entire season. I was just doing a few rounds here and there, but Result needed a pro driver, so signed up for those, and I've now missed out on 3 race wins. So it's about time I get something back. So hopefully Suzuka can turn it around.
Well, we look forward to following your progress there. Is there anyone you give a quick shout out to before you go for the evening?
Yeah, you guys for broadcasting. I saw you had a few issues in race 1, but awesome to see you got it fixed again and spot on as always. Admins, because they do a great job of this league as always, and Result Club for taking me on board this season and giving me someone to race for.
Smashing stuff. Well, all the best next week, Joss, and that's if I can get my words out anyway.
Yeah, I was going to say,
I'm sure we'll enjoy watching it, and we hope to speak to you at the end of that one.
Yeah, no worries, guys. See you later.
Cheers.
So there we go. That's Josh Thompson, and just final thoughts because we've pretty much run out of time. In fact, we've probably gone over time here. Then, what's your thoughts to this one then?
It was brilliant. Really exciting race meeting overall. Obviously, we did see some silly incidents as the night went on, but it is Bathurst, like Josh said, and you're bound to get them. So I think if you go into a race meeting here not expecting that, then you're a bit deluded, if I'm honest. But it was, yeah, really enjoyed that, and hopefully work with yourself again as well at some point, Paul. It's been a blast tonight. Yeah, thanks for reminding me about being at Bathurst on Thursday night. But anyway, that is going to be on Thursday night. British Sim Racers Touring Car Championship around Bathurst and Panorama. Sure, going to be a good one. Well, that's it for this evening. It's been wonderful bringing you all the action here in the BSR MX5 Cup Autumn Series. From myself, Paul Smith, from Chaz Draker, and Samila Cummer on the cameras as well, here on Apex Racing TV. It's goodbye.